Hi everyone. Today's topic is a little bit controversial, but it upset me so much that I needed to vent my feelings about it. And I thought, what better place than YouTube? Recently here in Australia, there was a report on our version of 60 Minutes, the news and current affair show, although that is generous, calling it news and current affair, as it has now turned into a bubbling pile of poo. I could rant about that for ages, but the particular story that was run was a story on selective reduction. Now, selective reduction is when a woman becomes pregnant with one or more children, fetuses or whatever you want to call them, and she selectively chooses to essentially kill or abort one of or two, or depending on how many she had in her womb at the time, so that she's left with the desired amount of children. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying abortion, but it's abortion in the sense that you don't get rid of all of the fetuses inside you. You still give birth to however many children you want, remaining from however many fetuses you had. So this story, I really wanted to watch it because I was genuinely interested in the procedure, and I'd never heard of it before. I'd only ever heard of aborting one fetus, so I thought, I wonder what the psychological and biological implications of this would be for women who choose to selectively reduce their the amount of children that they are going to give birth to. However, I was completely horrified with how the news program chose to present the story. It was completely pro-life bias, and I felt sick to my stomach watching it. They interviewed a few women who had triplets or had conceived triplets. One of the women, she contemplated it, but then thought, no, I'm going to have all 3 kids. Fair enough, good for you. But 2 of the other women selectively aborted some of the fetuses. And the interviewer in the voiceover, talking about the story, said that she did so because of lifestyle choices, because she didn't want to ruin her busy life in New York City and only wanted 1 child. Now, this made me feel sick, because for someone to say that abortion is a lifestyle choice and that it's just something so flippant and that they should be demonized for doing so, oh, it made me so angry. So basically these other 2 women, the 2 women that did actually go through with the selective reduction, throughout this 10-15 minute or so news story, they were made out to be terrible, terrible people. They were made out to be killers, murderers. They were basically demonized to such a disgusting point. And there was no opposing side. There was no side saying, look, these women might not have been financially able to care for and look after these 3 children that they conceived. I might be wrong. One of the women conceived the triplets naturally, and one conceived through IVF, which I'll discuss later. But the fact that they were demonized to such a point where they were basically taken down to a level of a breeding machine, and because of the fact that they selectively chose to abort 1 or 2 fetuses, that they were murderers. Now, I do realise and have a little bit of cognitive dissonance regarding the fact that when women do sign up for IVF, a lot of them implant extra eggs in case they don't fall pregnant and to give them a better chance. But this also increases the chance that they will fall pregnant with twins or triplets. So there is the kind of, I don't know, I'm torn in terms of these women knew the risks of conceiving 2 children, 3 children, and then selectively aborted however many they wanted. I mean, I'm still all for their choice to do whatever they want with their own body and to abort these fetuses. However, the other side of my brain kind of goes, well, they did know the risks. They did know that there is a very high chance of falling pregnant with twins or triplets. So I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that, but I'm still very much pro-choice in terms of, regardless of how many children they conceived or what the risks were, they still have the right to do what they like with their body and have complete control. For me, the abortions weren't actually the main issue in this story. For me, it was the reporting. As I previously mentioned, there were 3 women there they interviewed, and one of the women who did conceive triplets decided to keep them all and give birth to them all. And they made her out to be this angelic, beautiful mother who adores her 3 kids, and interviewed her, and she said, oh, I couldn't imagine not having them. And fair enough. If you've had your kids for however long, you wouldn't say, oh yeah, I'd probably get rid of 2 or 3, or all of them, or just one. Of course she's going to say that, and of course people are going to think, oh, what a beautiful what a beautiful trio of triplets. No one's going to say, she should have killed them. But then when it came around to interviewing the 2 women who had decided to have a selective reduction, the questions were just, oh, I was so angry. One of the questions was something like, do you think you're a murderer? Now, if that's not a loaded question, then I don't know what is. And this woman said, I don't think it's murder because I don't see them as children. I see them as fetuses, which is correct. And the interviewer said, so it's basically a litter then. You're getting rid of a litter. And she said, no. These were, I think they were around 7 weeks or something like that, very early on in the pregnancy. So it's not like she's a week away from giving birth and suddenly decided, oh, don't want 3 kids. She had thought about it very much so, and was in her complete right and choice to make that decision, because she felt she couldn't raise 3 kids at once, which I challenge anyone to raise 3 kids at once, because to me it sounds like hell. It just boils my blood to see a news program that's supposed to be unbiased demonizing women for abortion. It seems like wherever we get somewhere with abortion, it's like taking 1 step forward and then the media takes a million steps back. Because if anyone was watching that and was on the fence, they would have jumped to the pro-life side, because it was very biased, no arguments made for the other side. Very, even I found the music, it was all happy and light music for the woman who did not selectively abort, and it was all like dark camera angles and stuff like that for the women who had decided. And the choice of phrases like aborting was a lifestyle choice. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I just felt like ranting. I will see if I can find the video and put it in the link description. So hopefully you don't think I'm not making a big deal out of nothing. I don't really care if you do, because I was very upset and angered by this, and reading the comments afterwards on Twitter and on the website just disgusted me even more, with the amount of people saying that these women were murderers and they shouldn't be allowed to have children and they should be in jail and all that jazz. So what do you think? I don't think the issue is so much about abortion here. I think it's about the demonizing of women for choosing to do so, and having control over their bodies, and the media's representation of that. So tell me what you think. Don't hold back. I know you won't, because it's YouTube. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll go and deposit my anger elsewhere. Probably do some calming exercises or breathing. See you later.